Okay, you're good. Okay, good morning. We're gonna run our video real quick.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras. Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Internet access. To view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You'll also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about the agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Phone access. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specific date and time. This information can be found on the board's website.
Roll call. Mark,
Here.
like you're in a room by yourself, right?
Yes, I am.
Remote. And then Sherry is excused. Catalina,
Here by myself.
and then Brandon's here. Alan's here. Here, so we have quorum, so calls me to order 9:06 a.m. Okay, so next item is the report from PHA.
Might coming up in a second.
You can hear my.
So for HPHA, just a couple days, announcing our annual meeting coming up in April 18th, 2026, Saturday. Lots of planning, lots of exciting things going on there. We have been conducting our pharmacy on tour sessions with our independent pharmacies, right? So the outer islands, but really we're looking for, any pharmacies that want our support and how we can better support the profession overall. So any pharmacies to be able to place their additional support there. Work. Other thing would be, we have a ton of bills this session, coming up that, we will be looking to take the lead on related to things such as center pharmacy, items. Looking to set up either early meeting in January, Christopher, I think I know, Corey, have reached out to you. Maybe regularly, so we can. Put on the session, that way, make it work. Right. Even mostly, making other different already with relation to them. Establish more revenue.
So our next meeting is January, do we say it's January 29th? That's, you're gonna be presenting all the bills by then, right? Is it ready?
Yeah, I think I spoke with Corey. I think we were trying to look at the second week of January, meeting with the association.
I think by then we should have. Everything else.
Okay. All right, the next steps, thing is to review, minutes from November meeting. Did everyone get a chance to look at the meeting minutes? The only thing I saw was just some typos, but the one PTCB, B as in boy, on page 8, 1, 2, 3, fifth paragraph. The rest of the other typos are like not substantial. So, anyone else found errors that need to be addressed? Mark, Arlena?
No,
No, I wasn't there, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I move to approve minutes with that correction. Can I get a second?
no second, it's Mark.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Is it good or-
Catalina was here. Oh.
Oh, I thought I missed the one in November.
Can we check if Paulina was here? She wasn't here yet. Sherry was here.
No, we can make that amendment.
Okay, so sorry. Now can we get I move to approve with that change, sorry. Can I get another second, Mark?
No second, yeah.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so, I need to take one thing out of order. I do need to do applications for pharmacy technicians now. While I have four. So if I could get a motion to move into executive session for a few minutes to discuss pharmacy technician registration applications.
I move to go into executive session.
I second.
All in favor, aye.
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 No more opposed. Okay, sorry, so we're gonna move to executive session. It's just a few minutes to vote on the few applications and then we'll come back. Sorry.
What's the bathroom code again? What is the bathroom code again?
Well, what's the bathroom code you guys?
It's right around the corner here on this wall,
Over here.
right here.
Yeah, sorry.
Second one.
Three.
Is that right?
Does he have to say something about himself, or do I just say that in case?
You just make that notification to the public.
Okay, well, yeah. Is Zoom back? Zoom back. Okay, so for those on Zoom, we took the pharmacy technician applications out of order, so we could, we vote on that. So for the first two applications, I have Vanessa Marquez and Suzanne Marquis. Can I get a motion? To approve? Okay, so Alan moved to approve, I moved to second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. So, for Zaylee, Apples, zero, we're gonna recuse Alan from voting. I move to approve, Zaylee's. I guess second.
I
I
second.
second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so unanimous for that. Then now we'll go back to the regular agenda. So the next item would be pharmacy technician registration. So I know that there's a lot of public members. Guys, Zoom, they may have some questions. Christopher, do you want to give an update as to status?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. Okay, so from the last meeting, there were still some open questions that I had tried to best relay updates to through the emails that were received at that meeting. So I think the most recent one was more concerned about the public interface with the statuses of registration. So I was informed this morning that the public license lookup or the registration lookup is live, fully live. So you should be able to review registrants, statuses of applications. And I think that's the primary two, right? Those are in place. The pharmacy tech applications are there on the website. One of the things that we noticed from the initial submissions was that it seems like maybe instructions weren't fully read. So we added the FAQ there right next to where you download the applications because it was in a different section. Wasn't very intuitive. So we added it there. So if anybody has questions from applicants or their employees applying, I would refer them to that FAQ. Those are being updated as needed by the development team and the admin team. So they're most current on what processes are going for registration. They let me know information as it changes. Kind of similar to you guys. Let's see if there's anything else. We had additional licensing clerks allocated to the registration. So there's more than one clerk going through the applications. I asked for this morning, but I don't have the current number that have been processed, but I know that it is now starting to ramp up, especially after this meeting when we get additional delegations, which will allow the licensing branch and myself to approve outside of meetings, certain types of applications, including, applications that would otherwise have to go to a board meeting. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I haven't been given any other reports of any issues from our side. But you should start seeing in the next week or so those notices going out. I did receive information this morning that notices were going out by mail and by email. not knowing the reasons why, I would just suggest to make sure that the email is either typed in or is legibly written, just in case there was an error on the email data entry. And then that's why they sent it by mail. So just legibility is important on the applications, complete and thorough completion of the application. We've had an applicant who submitted just like an empty application with complete. So just make sure that employees know that. Again, the FAQ will be helpful for that. There's also the memo that is on our important information link on the main page of the board's website. That's been updated as well to better clarify. This was after the behest of our vice chair clarify the duties of the auxiliary staff and the farm techs. It wasn't very clear the first way it was written. So now it's been put into a grid form with X's, so it's a little bit easier to use, to reference, if you need it. But, those are the current updates right now. It's a pretty busy month with renewals and pharmacy updates, and employee counts, but, we are going through those applications as well. The vaccination submissions will have to, at this point, be reviewed, not reviewed, but basically approved by me due to the myriad of certificates that could be used. So there's multiple facilitators that do these types of vaccination training. So I'll have to be the one that kind of screens through all of those. So it doesn't take too much time as long as information's there and there's no yes answers. So again, that process will be a little bit cleaner than the registration process.
Sweet, I have a couple of questions that I'm expert of this here. So one thing is credit card, that was personally, they will not take credit cards if you log in, so it needs to get checked, not card or cash.
Yeah, I know at the last meeting I said
Cash is
it.
okay, right?
Yeah, so I know at the last meeting I had stated that it may be possible, but however, what we found out was that initial applicants are unable to do it, but people who are making additional added privilege submission applications, they can do it. It's because the account needs to be established initially, so that's why the card wouldn't be able to be used. So unfortunately,
Yeah, so no credit cards for this first time. The other one was corrections. So if there's corrections that you see spelling mistakes or things on the thing, they're asking that you email the board, right? With corrections that need to be made, so that they can update. Then the other thing was example of the permit. So it's a full 8.5 by 11 form, like an intern permit. So, we were gonna discuss the public display of licenses. That's part of the little. So does that need to be a discussion point, or do we want to talk about this? It just needs to be displayed. Doesn't say it has to be framed and on a wall, so I think we'll talk about, right, like a binder, because you might have 20 texts. The binder of it that's accessible to the public. Counters, like, right? Some of it. Yeah. They want to see it, I think that would be okay. That's good.
so there has to be 6 cents.
Oh, no, I can't hear her. I would say work with very service, right? So even if they're not physically there, you can probably just put them like together. We're servicing that site, right? Put it in. Yeah, I mean, the floaters for CVS, I would think that you wanna probably, if they have 10 stores they service, you're gonna wanna have a copy at each site. And so the binder might be a good idea, so that way they don't have to hang it every day that they go to a certain place, 'cause it is kind of big.
We still have quite a bit of participations who you can verify them on the website, but they haven't yet received their certificate. Should we create what's on the website and put that in the binder if they don't get it by January 1st? What did the board recommend?
Are these gonna get mailed out or emailed, one or the other? Everyone's gonna get one, right?
If they have the email and it's in there, it should be being pushed through the email. So I need to follow up with licensing branch about why they would go out.
Make sure that they double check their junk and
Yeah,
spam folders as
we've
well,
done
just like the efficiency notice and things like that,
We've
so.
done that, and we submitted those applications on the first and the second. So we got the majority of them, but these strikers kind of got us worried since we got everybody else already.
And they got
Checked
this,
No,
no.
they didn't get, because they didn't get the email.
even the first or the second, people on the very first group didn't get this yet?
Oh, no,
They
did.
got it,
Most of them
okay.
did, but we do have several who haven't gotten anything, and they were part of that first submission.
And they don't have, do they have like yes answers on it? Do you know if they have yes answers on the apps?
Yes,
Yes
answers.
answers,
Like anything that.
like criminal
No.
conviction or anything like
I
that?
don't know.
Okay, okay.
But
But we would have heard them. We had those first.
Yeah. I think we're further removed even from that.
Sorry.
that- For Tiffany and even from Walgreens.
Okay.
We, with Songhai Government Strategies, we haven't been able to even, verify because each individual pharmacy tech is doing their submission. And so is there a way to just verify that without a social security number, whether the application has been processed?
Once an application has been received and entered, it receives an LICN number. And so that can be entered into the.
And that gets pushed out to the email address that's associated with it?
Yes.
Okay.
So if there's a third-party release for, say, an employer to check, then they would have to just go through, they can either attach as a CC the person and then notify us if we have a third-party release. Can I please receive information?
Okay, so there's that option,
Yes.
but they would have to go in after the fact to do that?
If
They
if
didn't Initially?
they could email the board with the people's names that they are asking to have a third-party release. They authorize so-and-so to check the status of my application.
Okay, and then in terms of the, there's once the application has been reviewed and approved and processed, my understanding is that the license isn't being issued until January 1.
No, it's being issued. It's just the effective date, if you look at the certificate, will say January 1st, 2026.
Because some of the feedback that we've received is that the pharmacy techs are being told by the office that they're not going to get their license until 1/1.
Which office? Our office? Okay, I'll have to check with them and make sure that we're on the same page and providing you guys the right information. I don't know based on what you received, I don't know what happened, but I can try and clarify so that you guys don't see any difference. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Probably a physical certificate form of license, they. I guess, yeah, but from January 1st, they will be licensed. Even though they don't get the actual, because we don't know our system can generate the certificate or
I think we are.
Right.
I think we're generating the certificates. It's just whether or not they're getting
Yeah, I mean,
received,
people
right?
received it.
So I gotta check and see if you could email me some name examples for the issues. I know you are already gonna provide that.
There is that receipt requirement, so if we don't get the certificate, what should we do
So
by January 1st?
I guess I'm trying to say is that a normal standard submission should receive the certificate. The certificate itself indicates that it's not effective until January 1st, 2026. So it's right now it's moot, right? But once 26, that form actually matters. And you guys should be receiving them. So if that's not the case, just I need to know who, and then we can try and get those certificates out to the folks.
I'm gonna tag on to Tiff's thing. So I just went on this thing and I do have a social security number for one of my employees because he's been bugging me for it. And it doesn't show his name, like, and I hand carried it myself. So,
When was it?
January or December 5th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
So yeah, the hard copy, because we had to go through the hard copy route, applications were received and stamped in when we received them. So that's our receipt date. But they still need to be entered into the database. So that's what they're doing right now, and so they're taking.
Is like, how do they know they turned it in even, right? So I'm putting into pending application, social security number, file number, I put his social security number and it's not even showing his name. So what you're saying is that it would be pending, right? If they turned it in. I turned it in myself. I walked over here with a check. So I know it's turned in, but his name's not even showing up as pending.
Right, so let me see if I can frame this again, so. When you drop off the application or when the applicant drops that application off, say in person here. That application hard copy will be taken in by the licensing branch. It'll be date stamped so that we know the date that it was received and it'll go to the licensing clerks for processing. It will not be reviewable until that is entered into the Huala database system. Then it'll get an LICN number and it'll get a license lookup. So at that point, you should be able to review it. Now, the gap between when you drop it off and when it's actually entered, the clerks need a period of time to be able to enter these applications. And since they're all coming in, they're constantly churning through based on receipt date. So they're going through all the applications. Once so the ones you can see on the license lookup have been entered by our licensing clerks.
So there's nothing in between.
Right.
Drops
So
it
the
off,
in
that's-
between
we don't
part-
know.
Is something that, yeah, maybe I can help with. But as far as getting a confirmation about the applications being there, they would be there if they were dropped off, right? I guess the mail-ins would be a little bit more less hands-on.
I mean, unless Walgreens physically did it themselves, I think that's what they're needing to know, like, is it there?
Is
Did
it
we
there?
turn
Is it being
in?
processed and will it be
Because
processed?
otherwise, it's a job.
By-
efficiency.
Yeah, by December 31st in order for or earlier.
Yeah.
Hopefully earlier so that they can
Okay.
then have the.
We're not even at
Certificate
the
to
post office.
post. I know,
I'm not
right?
even
I
there
mean, so, and then, because the question is if they can't, I mean, even if the posting, if they can comply with the posting requirement, I mean, the bigger issue is is liability, right? If they're not licensed in time.
Right.
So I think that's the question is they won't be able to have pharmacy techs work, right? And then the
So-
pharmacy won't be able to be in operation.
So, yeah, and I understand that the law states that, you know, and the certificate must be posted in place. Once a person's been registered, our license lookup is primary source, so that would show somebody as current. So in that sense, there wouldn't be a violation that they weren't registered. So the question now still is about the certificates being in place and where they're working, right? So it's really, I wish I could provide more, from the administrative side, provide more security with what people are seeing in this transition period between that time when the application is submitted and when it's entered into our database, because that seems to be the window where people can't see anything. So
Confirmation from DCCA, like when the app and check are submitted in person, do they give them a confirmation receipt?
I stood there and asked them
you
for
can
one,
ask
so I
for the
got one.
receipt, yes.
Okay, so you can,
But if they mailed it,
they can either do, return receipt or US postal mail or something that gives them confirmation receipt. And so then that's on the sender side, that even if there's a gap on the receiver side, at least the sender has some confirmation receipt.
Is there a process where we send you, here are the list of applications you turn in, they're currently pending registration, but like, they send that to you, maybe it's like, it's already been received this, or
Yeah.
is that an option?
Yeah, you can, that's what I mean, at this point, there's something that maybe I have to step in to that place, so.
And sorry, for corrections to, applications, if there are any examples, when we submit that to?
send
Send
it
the
to you,
board.
right, to the board.
Okay.
Yeah, so just clearly label the header, the title, so that we know we can segregate those emails away from the rest.
Raised hand.
I did get confirmation that for our applications, they're all no yes questions. So,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, so I'll wait for those names. or the information. And then,
Or the ones that are already posted on the web, but don't have their certificate.
You're lucky.
But no, I'm just kidding.
They're like five, six.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so.
But should we post what's on the web then? In lieu of.
Until there's
Just
certificates.
in case we don't get anything by January 1st to meet the requirement.
Yes,
I don't know,
that's better than zero.
they're asking, so the license lookup from the website. They're asking if they printed that out, which is the primary source, right? Could that act in place of a certificate until the certificate is received? I mean, the law
The
states.
law
a
states it
certificate.
has to be, or it has to be,
Okay.
yeah. That's better than nothing, yeah. So for your people that, I know, I'll get you Rob next, the people that are pending, are they able to go on the website and put their social security number to make sure that they're still pending? You know what I mean, like, so what he's saying is there's pending, there's business individual license number, so because they don't have a license number, if we go to pending, yours should be done, right, December 1st and 2nd, like, if they wanna look up with their, like, social security number, maybe theirs will show up. You know, or at least it'll show pending that they received it, because if it's not showing their name, then we have it's missing somewhere else, and
For
then
the
we.
most part, we got receipts for all of our applications. But we wanna double check the pending first, and then if not, I'll email.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, hopefully their name at least shows up and is like in process or something.
I mean, it's gonna change every day
Yeah.
as people.
Okay,
get-
so Rob, sorry, your hand's up. You can promote him and.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Rob Geddes with CVS. I wish I was there with you. It's raining and snowing here, so it's very cold. Couple quick questions for you. As we've gone through the process, we did the third-party authorization and so forth, and we've been looking at the online lookup with our population, and I think we may be in a slightly different position than some because we have so many technicians that we've had applications submitted for, somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 applications. So we've observed that we've got about 11% of those that have been issued to this point. And just knowing that we're running really quickly to the end of the year and 1/1's going to be upon us before we know it. One thing that we just wanted to ask the board regarding, well, I've got two things I wanted to ask. First one is if there's any consideration that the board will not be able to work through the backlog of applications that have been submitted, will there be any potential for enforcement discretion that we can continue to operate with our technicians in the capacity that we're using them today? Our fear is that we could have the pharmacies come to a screeching halt if we don't have technicians that can do the production step, the fill step in the process. So I'll stop there and then I'll ask my second question after that.
Sorry, yeah, I'll try and answer partly, I guess, in that sense. So from the administrative side, I think we are focused on getting this accomplished. That's not to say that we've made a decision and then that's it, we're running with it. I'm pretty much assessing it every day, and I reach out to my admin team every day. So we're just tracking it as best we can. I know that we have had opportunities for staff to come in additional to hours to help processing, which has been done this last week. For the future, like couple of weeks that are coming up, again, I'm sure that licensing branch will be discussing that with the development / admin team as far as where they're at with their numbers. And I'm consistently, like I said, checking in with them to make sure where that's going. And so far, I mean, from this last weekend, I was okay with the process that was happening so far. Could it go a little bit faster? Maybe, but we're also understaffed and everything, so I understand that makes no matter for people who have to make sure they're compliant. So right now I can only do like basically one-to-one reassurances and updates. And even that would be semi-general because again, I may not have anything to provide at that time. But I understand we have received all of CVS full submission, so that was one of the ones that I think because they came in first, we're getting going first. So I'm hoping CVS will see some change to that percentage number by after the holiday. I know that's before
Which holiday?
the Santa holiday.
Okay, Santa's.
Because we have, I see, I think we have Christmas off, but that's it. Whether or not somebody's taking additional vacation or anything like that, that's on them. But we are only seeing one day loss next week.
Do we know, we don't know how many have been processed so far?
I asked for.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the rate of, like, we're doing 100 a day. Am I doomed or?
I don't think so.
11% of 700, so he's got 70 done. Kaiser's got their 100.
I think they went
Queens is
through
done.
the applications they received. I think they almost made it about halfway through for the weekend. So I don't have those specific numbers. I asked for them, but they are still trying to get them to me this morning. So maybe by the end of the meeting.
You work weekends?
They got an authorization for weekend last weekend to help process it. So there was several clerks who graciously came in. I mean, obviously it's in compensation, but you know, getting people to help out has been not too hard to do. So.
We did see quite a few come through over the weekend, so thank you for that.
Okay.
That was pretty.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that update, Christopher. I think it is good. I would point to a few states in the country do have a process where they do allow that if the person has submitted their application and paid their fee and submitted their fee with it, that they consider that to be kind of a grace window where they can continue to operate while the board goes through the process of actually processing the application. So maybe something to consider if you do get to that point where you get towards the end of the year and maybe you're feeling like you're not going to quite hit the mark. We're super happy with you guys bringing in extra resources. We know that that's not an easy thing to get people to do, especially this time of year. So our thanks to those that are going the extra mile to really get this over the finish line. The other request, and I think based on the conversation, is we'll take what we can get here, but the online lookup portal does have some significant lag. So when we're going through these, it is somewhat cumbersome and a long process. So we were just wondering if there might be a potential for a roster to be posted every couple of days on the website that could be accessed that just has that technician's name and whether or not a license has been issued in their name. That would maybe speed up the process for people to review and just double check if there's any outstanding issues that they wanted to raise to your attention. Otherwise, if there's consistent issues that you're maybe noticing in applications, please let us know and we can also help to close some of those gaps, take some of that pressure off your team from getting people on the phone, et cetera, if you need that assistance.
Because applications after they're approved, certain information becomes publicly accessible. Like that, for example, this is how we develop our ratification list. You'll notice that there was like 5 pharmacy technicians who are on the rat list. So I could possibly, in discussion with the licensing branch, be able to provide like every Friday an updated rat list that we can post.
Okay.
Which should show the people who got processed. And so it would provide their name. And I think maybe the dates. And the registration number.
Really like take about 2 for
I know, it's good. I mean, it might create more work.
to do that, although it's a good suggestion.
So I have it right now.
It's gonna take time away from.
So I'll tell you what I
Time
did.
away from the processing of the
Yeah,
application.
exactly. I
Oh,
went.
no, we will, I could run the report and have our website people post it. So it wouldn't take away from the clerks. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a person like that, they're all consecutive numbers, and so I was looking up all the consecutive numbers around there to get all the, I was verifying for Queens and some of the people that sent me lists. And they're all the consecutive members running until you ran out of members, so that's kind of, they're all, I have a list, a roster list, but, I know who put together. So yeah, Christopher, if you could put together, and if it's in Excel, then you can do it in a find. That would be great, right? As opposed to scrolling through all the names.
Okay. I'll see if I can do a searchable but uneditable list Excel sheet.
Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. And we also understand if this pulls away resources from the actual processing, we'd rather continue with the current process. But if it doesn't pull away, then we'd be happy to have a little bit more access there.
But the first part of his question was in terms of the board extending or changing or allowing for grace period. And when I had asked this before, Sherry said we can't, right? We don't have the power to like change the law. So.
No, I mean, practically speaking, it was submitted, it was paid for. So I'm not sure how big, I cannot speak for Rico on the prosecutorial discretion it will exercise, but I think obviously it will consider the submission, the payment, the date it was turned in, but the board does not have a grace period authority to just.
Yeah, that language.
Under
was in the
statute.
bill, right, to say like what the submitted as, so, we're just gonna keep plugging away, I think.
Is there an option for some type of executive order, just delaying implementation or some thought process get into that?
No, the board doesn't delay implementation. The legislature creates the law and the governor signs the bill and there's an effective date. So the board cannot say, oh, but we're not going to enforce or implement until 2 months later.
So there is no one that could get, like,
Maybe
Josh Green can't write something that says, or approve something that says
No,
delay for a month.
He signs the bill. He doesn't change the bill. One person cannot change what the legislature passed. But as I mentioned, Rico has prosecutorial discretion and I would think it's reasonable for them to have consideration of the submission and payment date sent in. So they will look at those on a case-by-case basis. Or is not authorized to make sweeping changes to the law, what the legislature passed. Even the governor can't do it.
Is Rico aware of the delays? And
Yeah,
such?
well, Rico has been in contact with our offices about the processes, yeah.
I cannot speak for them, but their resources are not to go and look at every pharmacy for display. Just practical considerations. Right now, their plate is full and farm techs got added. So
So if they're
honestly,
there
I
for
don't.
other reasons, they'll just catch it, but they're not.
I mean, if a customer were to complain and say, hey, this pharmacy, the farm tech, I don't know if they would know the law, but all these farm techs displays are missing, then yes, Rico would have to look into it. But I think the practical considerations are.
Okay. Y'all feel better?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's in a vacuum about what's going on, so I think that is like Sherry's suggesting is.
I mean, I would even suggest if someone in the community wanted to send a letter to Rico, that's up to them. That's not our issue, right? That's something that you guys can.
And I think AG had already stated that the printout from the online lookup can at least act as a reference for the time being, right? But we do need to get through all of those corrections or changes or lack of receipt of the certificates. That's a separate issue, and I can help with troubleshooting all that.
The last question was, in terms of correcting up this bill or fixing the bill, do you have a renewal process? Is that something that administratively we are gonna do, or we're not doing any admin bills?
Well, I don't think it would be an admin bill. This would be a substantive change, so it would need industry.
Is that on, HPHA's radar to like amend?
Something we at least had some initial discussions about, like,
Because otherwise, the way it's written, every 2 years, we're gonna go through this again.
It's not being.
And they're gonna get a new number and a new certificate to run around and chase around. And we're
I'm
gonna
sorry, taking a lot of notes as far as process concern, and I think as far as the meeting.
Okay. That'd be great. Yeah.
So we're not gonna do any admin bills.
I mean, admin bill would be, say, a correction of inconsistency in the statute versus the bill language, so you might want to correct something, but it's really administrative is geared toward the processes of the licensing and whatever tools you guys do for the review. But as far as like taking in a new type of license or how that license looks as far as renewal versus reissuance or whatever, that I think is a substantive change that would be helpful.
What about the registration fees? That would be something industry would have to trigger, or is that something that, because it's above us, I mean, it's all registrations, not just pharmacy technicians, we're talking pharmacy, talking miscellaneous permit, we're talking,
Yeah.
right, like who would initiate or trigger that type of start, that's.
Well, the fees for, fees for PVL are in HAR 1653.
201-53.
Oh, 201-53, sorry.
Okay.
And so it would be a rule change. So I just looked through those yesterday. Yeah, so all the permit fees, all the license fees, they're all within that chapter of the rules.
So again, like who would be able to request or change that?
I think administration for PBL would be the ones handling a rule change for fees for PBL.
I mean, if the board wants to change their fees, they can put in a request.
How do we do that?
We put it on an agenda. We start talking about it, and then we can make the letter request.
Can we add that to January? These things.
My position is the fees were more than we thought they were gonna be with all the processing and whatnot. If I feel like what are the techs gonna get out of it? From that 130.
We're
I
getting
think
phases, right?
The state gets some assurance that we have techs that are, some background has gone through and certified, and that's a good thing. What are the techs gonna get with the money that they're paying state? And I think that would be nice to be able to maybe put something together if the board is gonna do that and say, this is what the techs can get out of it. So that they feel comfortable when they send their $130. There's something there for them, education, or I don't know, something to that effect, I would think. Other than a piece of paper.
Is that something from an amendment standpoint that could be sort of corrected in the law, or is that just purely on?
So as far as the fees, yeah, that if it's going to be established by statute, it'd need to go in an amendment. But if it's gonna go through the rules, then it has to have a rule change to that chapter. So that's the fee source, right? But as far as like amendments to other parts of the bill, there is language within the bill that allows for the promulgation of rules regarding pharmacy techs and their duties with regard to the pay. So not necessarily need to go to the legislature for some of that stuff, I think. But before that's all cleared up, we would have to look through the bill and see what would be that, what would be this, if that makes sense.
The round is, I think we're all in agreement with, or you kind of. And there's anything that we can, especially on HBHA side, provide people as far as to do it, like, we have to do that.
Yeah, I guess let's add it to January, and if we can have a description of the process, whether or not the board wants to endure, take on that process. I think obviously we're hearing that the fees are actually too much or higher than we expected. And maybe looking at shifting it to the pharmacy license or something. You know, the figure of looking at that. Okay, so pharmacy technician registration, any other questions, concerns? Nothing in the audience, okay. So vaccine administration.
Chair,
Oh,
we're
yes.
gonna have to go. Discuss delegations.
For this now,
For the
Or-
farm tech registration, yeah.
do you want to do it now, or do you want to do it?
With the applications.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
applications.
I'm gonna,
We can do it in the same.
Because you
Okay,
discussed.
okay, sorry, I didn't know we did, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I guess we can move on to the next agenda
Okay,
item.
so vaccine administration, did you have more stuff to say? You kind of already touched on the vaccine administration piece.
Yeah, I mean, part of the agenda item today is to also discuss and if the board is comfortable with certain delegations to approve applications whose yes answers like criminal conviction or disciplinary action in another state is within what the board considers to be cleared or whatever, so then can be approved without deliberative knowledge. So that then it would be assigned to the EO and the licensing branch to just approve those apps. So speed up the process for those who might have a lag on their app because of a yes answer.
We're on number 4, or number 5.
This is number 4 still. I just
Oh,
wanted to give just a last, you were asked that, were you moved on to 5?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
step out.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas.
sorry. Okay, so vaccine administration. So the applications are, if someone wants to do the vaccine administration after January 1st, because the law included the term registered pharmacy technician, those who are registered can submit the vaccine form. So the logic is like this. Your registration application is processed first so that you now have a registration. Then now your vaccine registration could be entered in under that because you have met the law, which states you have to be registered. So these applications, if they're coming in with the registration application, then they're being processed at the same time. But those applications are going to have to be reviewed by myself because of the certificates that are involved. The law states that the training that needs to be submitted to the board, the proof of the training, merely needs to be accredited. And it provides the accrediting body, but that doesn't mean that all of the certificates from all the facilitators who have been accredited by CTMB, I think it is.
DCCA.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And that their certificates may not look the same. So the licensing branch is requesting my support to look and review and make sure that the little language of accredited by is there. And then I have to go approve. So I'll be going through those approvals before the end of the year. I think the same logic will just apply. If your application's in and it has been processed, but you haven't received your new modified certificate, then you can use your old certificate plus maybe the additional license lookup thing with the vaccine thing. So, sorry, with the vaccine information. So just as a reminder, the certificates that people are issued for their pharmacy technician, if they submit at the same time the vaccine registration, right? They will get a sort of modified certificate that shows that they are both a registered pharmacy technician and vaccine registered. If someone applies and receives registration and then at a later date gets the vaccine, they will be reissued a new modified certificate that will give that information on it.
So it'll be on here or what will it say, like vaccine?
Yeah, right
or
there.
something, or
So it'll
vaccine?
say right there, and I believe just below it as well.
What does it say? It'll say vaccine administration or something?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So for the purposes of the applications that are being processed, they say, you know, both returning at the same time, which I get it done, so. But I'm pretty sure all of ours kind of information.
Okay.
The registration will still be processed first.
Yes.
And then,
Vaccines are coming second.
Yes, yeah, so I get a task from the clerk and then I just go through them.
oh, okay.
Is that holding up the regular registration? So they're gonna get a registration
Yes.
and then you'll get the vaccine after?
Yeah. So then once that vaccine goes through, then they might see a new modified certificate.
So then it's on the pharmacy to then print out the new certificate and post that. as well.
Like the registrant, but yeah.
Are we anticipating the vaccination registrations to be processed by 21 or like, would that not allow them to vaccinate after that point? I don't know.
I think the law states that you have to submit proof of completing the course, right? That's all it says.
Yep, so it doesn't really
So-
say that the,
That's right.
Yeah, so they just need to submit it before the end of the year.
So at least-
that vaccines. The fact that they're gonna put it on your registration is just so that they can keep track of who's done it, right? But as long as they turn it in and they completed it, then that's extra. I think you're good with that part. We just need to get this piece. Okay, any questions on vaccine administration? Rob? Nope. Okay. All right, so next section would be, do you have anything else for these guys that are public?
Just make sure that your contact info is clear. And so I can make sure if there's any new emails, I can add it to that email that's been going out to everyone. If anybody who's meeting here remotely would like to be added to that, just email the board with subject add to the updates email, the Board of Pharmacy, and then I can add your email address onto that as well.
Can you add us?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all.
Okay. Any other questions? The rest of it's gonna be applications and boring things, that you guys don't
You
need.
guys will need to come back out to
Oh.
report the approval of those
Approvals?
delegations.
No, I was just seeing if they wanted to meet, but yeah, so you guys don't need to stay if you don't want to, but, next meeting is gonna be January. In terms of, yours.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now can I get a motion to move into executive session to discuss? That should be it.
I so move.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Second,
Second.
Alan. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. All right, executive session 10:07. See that? You know how to now that. We're all back. All back?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so miscellaneous permit, review, so UK specialty pharmacy. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, okay, so unanimous for that one. Next one, Southwest Florida Infusion.
Defer.
Sorry, no, this is again, just state that this was added to the agenda and was reviewed.
No, that's not, this is Southwest Florida?
Southwest Florida didn't submit any new information, so
Yeah.
deferred.
So we want to defer it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then advanced medical.
Sorry, do we need a vote for that deferred?
No.
Advanced medical, I move to approve advanced medical excluding Leanne Williams and Tip Williams.
I second.
All in favor, aye? Aye.
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 One opposed. Next one is the Sofa Hartley and for Eagle, those were reviewed last month. So we're skipping over. Not reviewing those. Galleria Medical Pharmacy. Do we need a motion to defer? Okay, so, yeah, so we're deferring, requesting additional information, most recent pharmacy inspection, including but not limited to surface and air sampling and clean room certification by ENV Services.
Second on that?
You said we don't need a motion, right?
Well, for this one, you do.
Okay, second, can I get a second for my?
Second.
Okay, Alan, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right.
All right. Now, so Glendale. I move to approve Glendale Pharmacy LLC.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. And then the last one is, I'll tell you the last, Align Pharmacy.
Motion to approve.
I second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
And then Oakdale Compounding LLC. I move to approve, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And then the next thing was the delegations then, right? Or the rat list.
Yes, to approve the rat list.
We have a motion to approve the rat list.
I move to approve the red list.
Okay. I second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the last thing was the. You guys need the, is it a motion? Motion to approve?
The delegation.
Yeah.
Approve the delegation.
Yeah, do you know what it has to say?
Let's go back to the floor on the farm tech registration. So delegations pursuant to 436B-8 for the executive officer and PVL licensing branch to approve applications without disciplinary action or convictions as specified on page 1, subject to the 5 conditions being met. I'll just say so moved.
So moved. Second, I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sherry. Okay. All right, so I think for this one, young, we can keep this kind of like ongoing, like I probably recommend that we keep it out, bring it every single time that we meet, so we can add to it. Vote on it, different thing.
You can bring it up next time, or we wanna revisit these things, so we can put on the
And
agenda.
in terms of the pharmacist one though, do we have is this the pharmacist one that you guys are working off of pretty much?
I mean, pretty much. There's a couple others, but I gotta go over them with you guys because they're not really due again.
Can we see those?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a
Do we have to have that
pharmacy.
on the agenda to talk about it?
You can review.
Yes, yeah, we can do
Nobody's
that.
saying there's a few more. that's not here.
Yeah, there's a few more I found in the meeting minutes.
Yeah, why don't you send them and then they can review and then we can place on the agenda to revisit you.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
So the next meeting's
January 29th,
the fourth, okay, the fourth Thursday.
fourth Thursday. And then did you send out the calendar for all the other meetings?
No, but I just finished.
Yeah, so can we send it electronically?
Yes,
to
I can
them?
send it to the two of them. I'm gonna send to everybody from the board.
Okay.
To have an electronic copy.
My other question, and I know it's on the agenda, so if I can't talk, what about our other people? Like, we're still missing Kauai, right? I mean, that's why we're in this dilemma, because we don't have quorum. We miss 1, 2 people, we're done, right? Kauai is still open, it's been open for 6 months. My position, I'm letting you all know, is 6 months from now. Like,
Do you have somebody you know?
no, I don't know. I mean, there's Oahu people, there's people that want, but sure that we just need to like make sure that the people know the process, it's gonna be on the, whatever, but the pressing one is Kauai.
Okay.
We just need to make sure that we get that before our session, because I think that's when it gets all crazy, right? We need to get the people vetted through and
Is anybody interested?
we
I
had
think
somebody.
We have someone,
yeah.
I gotta check with the governor's office.
Yeah, you can forward the governor's office, the registration website. Yeah, I can forward it. I had a form for doctor, so. Okay.
Yeah, because I think hopefully he's still interested.
Maybe next time we can talk maybe about what the process is to add board members. I mean, can we add on a technician now that we're registering technicians?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would
Changing
have,
the composite of the
yeah,
board.
if the composite would need an amendment to the law.
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to start thinking about that or talking about it.
Yeah,
Can they join
Can.
as a public member?
Yeah, this could be a public.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as the language is written right now, there's nothing that says a public member can't be a pharmacy technician,
Yeah.
but not specifically that anyway.
Okay. And then how about packets? Can we get packets
Yeah.
at least a week in advance?
Yeah, like I said, we should be caught up pretty much on a backlog of the PMP apps, so it should be less next month, I think, as far as the number.
And
So
then,
that's-
so did you get all the people that are requesting verification of their licenses?
It's in the email.
Registration?
Some folks said they would email and I saw some people sign in.
No, so I think they've been sending requests to verify, we need to at least respond, like tell them to go
Yeah.
get it themselves or,
Okay.
but as Stacy was saying, like if they turned it in and they can't find it, then what, right? So then they're gonna send it
Reach out to
to you, right? But like that would be my 2, that would be, she has a list, right? So I think you're gonna still get inundated by a lot of questions on that, and we just need to respond, because I don't know. They've been reaching out to all of us. Brandon's been getting phone calls too. All of us are getting phone calls, so they think it's us, like I'm sitting there typing it in, which if you all need help, I will type, but I think they're starting to reach out like to all of us, and we don't really have any, other than I look online.
And there's the February NABP item writing. We can have,
got that email, right, yet?
what's it? I haven't seen the email yet, but we can have 2 plus I'll be there too with the,
That's you.
yeah.
I mean, I obviously will
Oh.
come with you, but,
Sorry, go ahead.
but it's, the more the
Nice to
merrier.
have one more
My term
person.
ends in June, so you're gonna have to.
Yes.
I forgot to ask something though, real quick. The pharmacy intern certification for vaccination, they take the course that pharmacists take, right?
Yes.
They actually take it in school.
They take it in school as part of their.
Yeah, it's part of their
Oh,
school.
okay. Okay, so they still would have that
They'll get a
certificate, right?
certificate, yeah.
Okay,
Be taking that like that for
First week.
semester. Yeah, that's one of the first things they do.
okay, but it is specifically the one that's oriented
Yes.
towards this.
Right.
Because I see pharmacist or pharmacy technician, not the pharmacy intern.
Yeah, they're
So I'm
gonna take
guessing that goes, okay,
pharmacists.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, the letter, anyone interested, I guess I'd have to look at you because you're the only other pharmacist here. Sherry's already recused herself, but we've talked to her. You can be part of the school and still be part of the item writing. It would actually be really interesting for her to go, but.
Is the term up?
Um,
Is Sherry's term up? Or?
No, but she's saying because she has students that take the NEBP or the NAPLEX and the law that she feels like she shouldn't be part, but we've checked with NEBP and they have a ton
Yeah,
of,
there
they're
there
allowed,
are other professors there that,
they're just not allowed to publish their questions and give it to their students, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it is actually, so it's in Chicago, it's a week. Do you know the dates yet, Mark? You gave it to me.
I think it's the second week of March.
Second week in March, where each state's allowed 2 people and Mark is part of the executive team, so he doesn't count. So I go with him and I, try to write questions. You want?
Let me double check because
Yeah.
it really depends on. They decide not to show up before then.
So the problem is, and unfortunately, it's a commitment because they send you to training, so that's why I feel like I have to go because I have to do the training. But then my term's up, we do need to get someone trained, otherwise it's always gonna be Mark, and that's not cool either, so.
Let me.
Yeah.
Give the exact dates. I will double check.
And it's interesting, it is, good for, when people start complaining that all their people are failing their test, it's March 11th to 13th. So anyway. The board will get notified of it, it goes to the board email address, and then you need to forward it out so that we can then sign up. It doesn't come to us direct, well, Mark will get his own, but I won't get one. The board sends
Yeah.
me.
I'll let you know when I get mine. And they pay for everything. I mean, they pay for your hotel, they pay up to like $60 for dinner, and I mean, they pay everything, so,
Everything like standard.
yeah.
Yep, well, meeting adjourned, sorry.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.